All right, Smirnoff. Official vodka of the NFL, the world's #1 vodka. Here's the deal. Game day is everything. The noise, the rituals, the passion, the dip, the wings, the dip again. Smirnoff belongs in that mix because if you're tailgating or hosting or just sitting there checking your fantasy lineup every 30 seconds, you need Smirnoff. Otherwise, it's not a real game day. They've been doing this since 1864, which is, I don't even want to do the math, a long time. They're award-winning, they make cocktails super easy, and they're all about bringing fans together. So yeah, we do game days. That's their thing. And if you're over 21, you should too. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff, #21 vodka. Distilled from grain. 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Labor Day savings are happening right now at the Home Depot. So what are you working on? Prep for fall with our wide selection of cordless power tools that make it easy to clear your lawn starting at $79. And once the leaves are clear, keep your yard looking fresh with colorful mums that bloom all season long. Shop Labor Day savings now through September 3rd only at the Home Depot. See select stores for details.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
The Dan Le Batard Show is sponsored by Liquid IV. Transitioning from the relaxed vibe of summer to dialing in your fall routine takes focus and stamina. Push harder and recover fast with Liquid IV's new sugar-free energy multiplier. Hydration and energy both in one. Each stick has a 2-to-1 ratio of L-theanine and caffeine for balanced energy, no jitters, no crash drink. Plus, you get 0 sugar, 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks, and 5 essential vitamins available in strawberry kiwi and blackberry lemonade. Dan, which is delicious, by the way, blackberry lemon. I'm going to send you some. It's simple. Tear, pour, mix, and you've got hydration that really makes a difference. 1 stick, 16 ounces of water. You shake it up together, you pour it down the hatch, you drink it, and it's delicious. I always keep one in my car just in case I need one, in my gym bag when I'm going to play hoops, I'm going to go to the gym. All that, I keep it with me. Don't let the grind drain you. Ditch the glitch with 0 sugar and 0 crash from Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code Dan at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code Dan at checkout. liquidiv.com.
Mark Stein, one of the longtime journalistic voices in basketball, not unlike Tim Kirkshin. He's someone who only cares and knows anything about his sport and knows very little else by his own admission, knows basketball, says the alleged violations in this incredibly detailed Pablo Torre report are staggering and without precedent, a story that has shaken the NBA already like very few. I should mention that Steve Ballmer and the Clippers have sent out a response, quote, neither Mr. Ballmer nor the Clippers circumvented the salary cap or engaged in any misconduct related to aspiration. Any contrary assertion is provably false. The team ended its relationship with aspiration years ago during the 2022-2023 season when aspiration defaulted on its obligations. Neither the Clippers nor Mr. Ballmer was aware of any improper activity by aspiration or its co-founder until after the government instituted its investigation. The team and Mr. Ballmer stand ready to assist law enforcement in any way they can.
So case closed.
The funniest part of this statement is the Mr. Ballmer is capitalized, and I'm certain that's how they refer to him. Everyone refers to him there. It's not Steve Ballmer, it's Mr. It's not even MR, period. The Mr. is capitalized and the Ballmer is capitalized because he is referred to by capital M, Mr. and Ballmer in press releases and in person.
Do you think they pronounce it like the way you would if it were all capitalized? Like, Mr. Ballmer. That's how you would say capitalized.
It should have an exclamation point.
That's how he talks, right? Like, that's it. Like, Mr. Ballmer.
So does Pablo owe Mr. Ballmer an apology now that they've come out and cleared this all up?
You're good with the defense there?
I mean, it feels like this could have just been resolved over a phone call. Like, hey, did you do it? And like, nah, I'm like, okay.
Traditional media versus a billionaire. I know how this one goes.
We can move on to other subjects, but just to close the loop on what it is that not Greg Cody accused me of earlier, poor journalism judgment in a story from 30 years ago about the White House in Dallas. The story was about sex and the Super Bowl. That's the story that I was doing. And one of the other things in that story that I've told you about recently was that I called Derek Thomas for that story, the late Derek Thomas, to ask him if it was true that when he and Shannon Sharpe got into a fight on Monday Night Football that got Derek Thomas ejected for 2 straight penalty flags for unsportsmanlike conduct because Shannon Sharpe had enraged him, I was calling Derek Thomas to ask him if all Shannon Sharpe was doing was repeating a woman's telephone number that he cared about. And Derek Thomas hung up on me as soon as I called him. And Shannon Sharpe, because Derek Thomas has passed away, says, I will never say what it is that I was saying to Derek Thomas. Shannon Sharpe has been in the news recently, let go by ESPN, fumbled the bag like very few people ever have. And we have some sound. These guys were teammates, Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe, for a championship team. Shannon Sharpe, among the best tight ends I've ever seen before we started making Gronks and Travis Kelce's. Really prolific, productive, and given that I saw the 30 for 30 on the Ravens, given that I saw Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe interact, I didn't think that where we've now arrived in public discourse would be a thing that I saw given the unity of the huddle. Here's Ray Lewis talking about Shannon Sharpe, and listen to what Ray Lewis has to say before you hear Shannon Sharpe hurt by what Ray Lewis had to say.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and him and Skip and Stephen A., all that stuff?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content. I wouldn't, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do anything. Yeah, and then so I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route. Never can go that route. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance, right? A lot of times, a lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff, I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm in life to try to teach people what does it mean to be a better man or get back to the kingdom.
Ray Lewis is not the only one who feels that way about Shannon Sharpe. All the smoke guys say that they don't like some of the stuff that is being done in modern media that Shannon Sharpe is also doing. But I do feel like Shannon Sharpe is pretty close to authentically himself in public, because this is the guy that during games would pick up the phone that goes to the offensive coordinator when they were scoring and scream on the sideline, call in the National Guard, they're in trouble. Like, this is the personality that Shannon Sharpe was. But Shannon Sharpe, because of everything going on around Shannon Sharpe, was hurt by this and is trying to take the high road. I want you to listen to this, though, and not just for Shannon Sharpe's hurt. I'm here to maintain that Ocho Cinco does the Stugotz job better than anyone does the Stugotz job except for Stugotz. Ocho Cinco, the perfect sidekick to help Shannon Sharpe do what he's doing.
I got nothing bad to say. Because a lot of things when you tolerate it, I'm going to go ahead and say my thing. Whatever transpired, I'll bite my tongue. I'll be the bigger person. I'll walk away. Hey, you right. Because you know why, Ocho? It's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because your boy, you looking at him, he low-hanging fruit. And there are a lot of people taking your shot at your boy.
Come on now.
Y'all can have it. Y'all got it. Y'all got me. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. We gonna be all right, Ocho.
Yeah.
That tribute say we gonna be all right.
Yeah. Listen, I could have told you that. I could have told you that. I've been telling you that.
Yeah.
So
everybody want to pile on. Everybody jump on now. Hey, we got him down, Ocho. We got him down. The best time to. Hey, let me get my lick now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to get a lick now because when your boy was doing good, you hear a lot of people that have a whole lot to say. Not everybody got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys shaking your heads about?
I think Ocho said more than Shannon did.
I don't know what anybody's saying.
Why is everything got to be talked about in code?
I care about this even less than when it started.
It's not code. He's saying that he's low-hanging fruit. Everyone's taking their shots, and he's hurt by Ray Lewis being one of the people who's taking the shots there.
Don't forget, it was a very famous scene ahead of that Ravens first Super Bowl win where Ray Lewis was going through it, with all the legal stuff, and Shannon Sharpe invaded the media day, put his arm around Ray Lewis, and did a whole deal about what a great man this is, and I don't like the way that you're treating him. That was a big thing back then.
I don't think Ocho really helped him out there either. I mean, you got to talk. There's so much silence. At least Stugotz will fill the gaps with a fake laugh.
Ocho, he didn't even say anything, did he? Literally, did he say 5 words?
I mean, it sounded like call and response while you're in church. Wow. That sort of thing.
Did we change the numbers, the technology on your modulated voice?
It's a different person.
What just happened there?
Who do you mean? I've been here the whole show, that kind of thing.
Roy sounded fine. Chris sounded fine. What are we talking about here?
The thing that I saw while I was on vacation that actually made me feel really bad for Shannon Sharpe, even though you may not feel bad for Shannon Sharpe, was when he was lamenting the fact that he implored ESPN to not release the news that he was being released until after his brother's Hall of Fame weekend. Obviously, that's not how the news works, but I did feel bad for Shannon Sharpe having to be around Sterling Sharpe profusely apologizing when Sterling Sharpe is telling him, please don't apologize, but he ends up soiling what was one of the great nights of Sterling Sharpe's life.
I think given the 3, because Chad had stuff in the pros too, the 3 of them generally to most people, they elicit very strong opinions, and I don't think empathy is usually one of them.
Anyone can understand, though, embarrassing your family, though. No? Anyone, I understand that empathy can be hard to come by when we prefer to laugh, especially as cruel as social media is. But who doesn't understand loving your brother? It's his big day, and look at what you've done. You're more famous than your brother. You're a better football player than your brother. Your brother is getting one moment in the lights that is a fountain of youth, and that week, you're the news, not your brother.
Maybe if there was more separation from the events, but if you've got an empathy bandwidth, and it's directed around whatever is surrounding Shannon Sharpe, I don't think it's going his way.
Why would anyone have an empathy bandwidth?
I do. I can't muster up the same kind of empathy for Shannon Sharpe that you are, obviously.
But it's not. These things can both be true, though, that you can not feel bad for Shannon Sharpe and see a situation here that anybody would feel bad in if they were the one responsible for it.
Empathy bandwidth sounds like you have only so much empathy you're willing to give out.
That is what he's saying.
When it sounds like you only have empathy for certain people who deserve it.
I just don't care. I just don't care. I just don't care.
I think the 2 brothers handled it very well on the Hall of Fame stage that day, right? If there was apparent acrimony, then I would feel bad for one of them, but they seemed to handle it very well. Good for them.
Hey, listeners, it's Mike. Hey, Billy Gill.
Hey.
Hey, Billy, as a proud member of your inner circle, remember when we were hanging out last weekend?
Oh, yeah, fishtail palms.
The fishtail palms, the great memories we made, kids playing in the pool, and in our hands, a nice ice-cold can of Miller Lite. It was so hot out.
I know, but it was so cold in my hand.
We took that first sip. It was crisp. It was refreshing. Oh, man, there is nothing like cracking open a Miller Lite with your crew and your inner circle bones.
Hell yeah. We fist bumped.
Whether it's, we actually really did. Yeah. Whether it's that touchdown.
Didn't make a sound, but it just thought
bam! Boom! Whether it's that touchdown you didn't see coming or just arguing about fantasy lineups, you and I did plenty of that. Miller Lite has been the taste that you can depend on for 50 years. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients, rich toffee notes, and that iconic golden color. And here's the kicker, Billy.
What?
It's just 96 calories.
What?
3.2 carbs.
Huh?
per 12 ounces. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 5 decades later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
What's up, listeners? I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I certainly dreamed big. I think when we were all kids, we dreamed big, whether we wanted to be astronauts, presidents. Personally, I wanted to be a pitcher for the then Florida Marlins. Now, we're dreaming of something else, like owning our own businesses. But let's be honest, launching it is total chaos. Websites and shipping, your cousin who wants to collab, it's a mess. That's where Shopify comes in. They power 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, from brands like Mattel to your aunt's candle shop. Can't design a site? Shopify's got ready-to-go templates. Need help writing copy or touching up pics? AI tools. Want customers? Built-in email and social tools. And if you get stuck, 24/7 support. Real, award-winning human beings. Turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Batard. Go to shopify.com/Batard. Shopify.com/Batard.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. From improving emergency response times to protecting against cyber attacks, local, state, and federal governments are innovating with Google AI. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American Innovation.
Dan Batard.
I got somebody here making fun of me. How old do you have to be to reference Shecky Green? Man, I went comedically there with the funny name of a comedian. That's on you for not knowing who Shecky Green is.
Oh, you got to know who Shecky Green is.
No, you don't have to know who Shecky Green is. But
your ally.
Yeah, I don't like my allies
King
here.
of the Borscht Belt.
Stugotz.
I have the soul of a Borscht Belt comedian. I should be in the Catskills in 1945. Opening for Shecky Green. That's who I was destined to be.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Do you guys want to play the game? Do you guys still want to play the game where I turn my back and try to figure out whether on the voice modulator, who's on the voice modulator?
Should we go back to the monster or leave that one? This is a fun game. I'm in on this.
Do I still want to play the game? Suggest I want to play the game from the start. And also, Ray kind of lost me with all the signatures behind him on that podcast.
Let's try it one time. Turn around. And then we're going to have someone talk, and then you will have to guess who it is.
All right, but Zaslow was saying that he saw Ray Lewis recently not wearing a baseball cap, and because he was not wearing a baseball cap, all of a sudden Ray Lewis wasn't as intimidating as he used to be.
Yeah, he's got the horseshoe going on.
He's got to go home.
Mike, also, what was suggested is that the original voice modulation sounds a little bit like Andrew Luck, and I was wondering if at some point we might be able to get Andrew Luck, or fake Andrew Luck, talking on the voice simulator to see if we can distort that a little bit. But I'm going to play the game that Mike doesn't want to play right now. I'm going to turn my back here to the proceedings, and I'm going to try and guess which one of you is talking. But I don't think you guys are much for getting out of your seats and scrambling. So I'm going to guess before I even do this that this is going to be Greg, that none of you are going to move and it's going to be Greg.
All right. Well, right now you're hearing shuffling around. Like we're moving. A lot of people are moving. All right. Let's see here. All right.
I'll go over there.
All right. All right. A lot of shuffling. All right.
That kind of thing.
Is that Roy?
Wow.
Was that?
That was Roy.
We stink at voice modulation.
All right. Wow. Game over. Good game.
Nobody moved.
As a company, we stink at voice modulation. Let's continue to see if we can get better at this as we go along, shall we?
Would it kill you to talk some football? I mean, not football from 20 years ago.
He didn't know it was starting tomorrow.
I mean, damn.
Give him a day.
We got Ravens, Bills, huge game. We got Cowboys, Eagles. We got so many big games that people are going to want.
Chiefs, Chargers.
These games are
in
sold
Sao
out.
Paulo.
You don't have the option to go to the primary market because these tickets are flying. So what do you do when you want to see these teams in action? That's right, Chris Cody. You download the Game Time app. It is super easy, guys. I'm telling you. Time and time again, I go to this app because it makes it's so easy. It takes the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets. Download the Game Time app, Create an account and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
Since you want to talk about football, I am very pleased to have Greg Cody in studio as a longtime NFL writer, one of the longest-timed NFL writers. He is entering his 35th year of making NFL predictions weekly. I believe my brother did the first art for the upset bird that he consults whenever it is that he thinks there will be an upset in the NFL. Over the 35 years, Greg, have you tallied your overall record? Do you know your overall record over 35 years picking games both against the spread and straight up?
Greg's not here, but let me speak for him. He does know his all-time record. I don't personally know it right now, but I
can tell you overall.
Oh my God!
Overall,
the mask is falling down.
What happened?
Wait a minute! It's you!
Wait,
it's Greg!
I'm back!
It's Greg Cody! You guys tricked me!
You fraud!
Where have you been, Greg? You missed a
Okay,
good
what's
show.
going on here?
Planting trees.
No, my overall record,
Meaning not against the spread, is in the neighborhood of 650 to 660. Against the spread is this is so distracting. My record against the spread is over 500. I want to say about 520, 518, 522. There's an echo chamber in here. What's going on?
The echo.
What else is new?
This is not an echo chamber.
Now people are going to think this is Greg the whole time.
I know, right?
That's not terrible, but it sounds like you have spent 35 years picking games, and basically, if you had been doing that with your money, it would have cost you money because the VIG would have made it so that you would be a career loser in money at that clip.
Again, I'm guessing on the percentage.
You wouldn't be though if you were at 73%. That's not if you
73%. What are you, insane? Anybody who says they're at 73% is lying or hallucinating. You must be high.
I mean, come on now. Let's get real.
I had a great season last year. I was like 68, 69% overall and about 53, 54% against the spread.
It's difficult. You know, this isn't the NCAA where, Miami's favored over Bethune-Cookman by 115 points. This is king sport. This is the NFL where the biggest points
of the week this week is like 7.5 or 8 points. It's ridiculous. Every game is close. Everybody can beat anybody. And I'm slaying the dragon. I'm the man in the arena with his sword, slaying the mighty point spread.
You like the pros better than college, don't you?
I do. No, I do. For that reason. You know, you can pick whoever you think is the best team in the NFL. Let's say Philadelphia. Whoever you think is the worst team. Let's just say New Orleans. It could be a competitive game. In the NCAA, you have a couple of difficult games, and then you have 5 or 6 wins that are just baked in. Okay, you start the season with 5 wins, and then you have, the Bethune-Cookmans and, no offense, Billy, the FIUs. I mean, Penn State versus FIU. Come on, what are we doing here?
I mean, FIU is others receiving votes in the coaches poll this week.
I didn't know you had a vote, Billy.
Since I prefer to talk about games that have been played than games that are going to be played, let's talk about college football for a second. Let's talk about the polls. Let's talk about the coaches poll. Let's talk about the fact that Florida, Florida State, and Miami are all in the top 15 after week 1. One of the things every year that I guard against, because I don't believe that before week 1 anyone knows much of anything, which is why you get the FSU-Alabama result that you get, and no one sees it coming. But I also feel that while coaches always say the biggest improvement always gets made from week 1 to week 2 every season because of what happens in game 1 with jitters and people being off, I also believe it can be hard to detect in watching games like Notre Dame-Miami, for example, if Notre Dame is actually going to be good this season, because I don't believe their quarterback is going to carry them this year. I don't believe that C.J. Carr. I believe Miami's defense is good, and I would have believed it was good before what I saw yesterday, just based on some of the things that they did in the portal and in the offseason and just revamping the defense. But I don't actually know, after watching Miami and Notre Dame, if that Notre Dame offense is going to be limited all season, because I don't believe in their quarterback. And though he played well under the circumstances, seeing what I saw, I know now it's a signature win, but I also know that anyone that was in your top 10 in week one was made in your top 10 by a lot of people who don't know anything. And so some of those things can end up being a mirage. And so today, I don't know if FSU is really good or if Alabama is really bad.
Oh, at the end of the season, that could look like an 8-5 team be, a 7-win team. I think that's probably more likely for FSU and Alabama, given that Alabama's 5-5 in their last 10, and FSU is coming off a season where they had 2 wins. Gus Malzahn, he can do that to certain teams that are unprepared to play, and it certainly looked like Alabama was unprepared to play. There are so many highlights on social media of guys giving up, jogging to where they think the play is going to go, not caring whatsoever. I do think that Miami's win over Notre Dame will age. Well, I rewatched the game a little bit. That game was actually pretty close. It's just that Miami won that middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half, and that's when Miami looked their best. But other than that, they were kind of matching blow for blow over there. And C.J. Carr, I think, really impressed because
I thought he looked great
for a dude that never played, and maybe
certainly nervous in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
The throws weren't good. He looked nervous.
They were conservative with him, the short passes to kind of get him going, and then when he had to start making plays, he was doing
great.
so with his feet. And Minchie was supposed to be the more mobile of the quarterbacks. I think Notre Dame's going to be all right, and historically under Marcus Freeman, that is a team that gets stronger as the year progresses. And after that,
it was week 2 last year they lost to Northern Illinois, right?
Right, and you see games that could be tricky on their schedule, like Arkansas and Boise. Well, Boise looks like they've completely fallen off without Genty. So I do think that Notre Dame is going to be in that conversation, and I do think we'll look back on Sunday saying, oh, those 2 teams have made sense. They kind of remained in the conversation.
To the FSU point, though, they looked great on almost every side of the ball, right? Offensive line was going and attacking people at the point of attack. Defensive line looked good. Their defense was actually something that last year was obviously embarrassing. This year they stood up. I don't really like Ty Simpson that much. I think that he's kind of a stop-back quarterback for whoever they get next. But their offense, Tommy Castellanos was dynamite.
Yeah, and he didn't have to throw, and I was laughing at things.
But
like
even the throws he did make were spot on.
Yeah.
You don't really see that from him.
Yeah, I think early on he kind of grew into the game, and he's one of those front-running quarterbacks that as soon as he knows that he's got something, he feeds off that energy. And to the other team from the state of Florida that is also ranked in the top 15 collectively with the Big 3 for the first time since the pre-ranks in 2006, I actually came away with a ton of concerns for Florida, which is rare in a game that a team wins 55-0. You get 0 sacks against a Long Island school that we all learned at the same time has a football program. They surrendered 11 tackles for loss. That is a team that is not winning the line of scrimmage as impressively as they should against a school that, again, we just learned has a football team.
And that schedule, have you seen that schedule?
It gets tough.
Holy crap.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy, that's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove those painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon Pharmacy and Amazon One Medical, healthcare just got less painful.
Let's play Burlington's Guess That Price. Back to school means back to saving. We're bringing you kids' jeans starting at, hold on a minute, just $11.99. Burlington's acing this test. What about character backpacks? We've got them starting at $12.99. Burlington's done it again. How about sneakers for the kids? A-plus brands and right on trend starting at $11.99. Saving is now in session. Burlington, deals, brands, wow!
Styles and selections vary by location.
The Jack Welch Management Institute at Strayer University helps you go from, I know the way, to I've arrived with our top 10 ranked online MBA. Gain skills you can learn today and apply tomorrow. Get ready to go from make it happen to made it happen and keep striving. Visit strayer.edu/Jack Welch MBA to learn more. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.
Don Le Batard.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald. He's actively playing defense against my ability to do the show because what are you laughing at? You're just laughing at
Honey Boo Boo is embroiled in controversy. It's funny to me. Sorry.
Stugotz.
He couldn't stop laughing just looking at the picture of Honey Boo Boo. That doesn't sound healthy. It's his laughter.
We were fantastic.
We can't make him laugh like that. It's how he's going to die. Right here, just laughing and coughing.
I want to die like that.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Breaking news. ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, and First Take are talking about the Pablo Torre blockbuster.
I like on the screen, it just says, according to documents obtained by Pablo Torre. It's just his name.
It's not Pablo Torre, it's the documents that he has.
No, but it's just Pablo Torre. They're not even saying Pablo Torre finds out. They're just saying Pablo Torre has documents. You don't normally see somebody by name being referenced as having documents on ESPN. I want to ask you guys, from among all the stats that you saw in Alabama, did any of you see a better stat than this one? I gave it on the show that we did on Labor Day. Chris Cody, can you please get me the stat of the day music? I want to ask you guys, of all the numbers that you saw, did you see any number better than the one I'm about to give you here?
Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day.
Zaz, you want to take a guess as to how many times, if you don't know it, how many times Saban in 230 games lost to an unranked team?
Oh, man. 230 games, all Alabama.
All Alabama. Do you guys have any guesses on this?
I want to guess.
Because he played, obviously, against a lot of ranked teams, but he played against 230 unranked teams.
You know, I'm going to say 0.
I'm going to say 4.
4 is exactly right.
I do my research, my due diligence.
He just asked the question. How do you do any research?
Well, he undercut the whole bit, too.
I knew it. I knew it. That happened to be in my.
So that's not research.
bandwidth.
That's not research.
Well, that's the thing about sources. They know the information. That's why you have to cover his voice so you don't know who knew.
That's not the stat, though. That's the first part of the stat.
Oh.
DeBoer has coached 14 games at Alabama. You want to guess how many times he's lost to unranked teams?
Ooh, yes. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 now.
4.
I was going to say 35.
I'm pretty done with that bit.
Also, Jeremy read that stat yesterday on the air.
I know.
So we did it. We ran it into the ground.
The stat.
All right, we did it. Yeah. Okay. Not the modulator. That still got legs.
Do you guys have a better stat than that one?
I mean, I liked that Kalen DeBoer, he has lost in 4 of his 5 losses are when Alabama was a 2-touchdown favorite. 4 losses so far as a 2-touchdown favorite. Like that's pretty wild.
If you want to play devil's advocate, though, Marcus Freeman had that reputation. He's lost some big games as a multiple touchdown favorite, and they usually grow into seasons, and everyone would concede Marcus Freeman's a very good head coach.
I thought Carr looked good under the circumstances, but I'm bringing in previous knowledge and Jeremiah Love when I say I think that's going to be a big play offense. I didn't see a lot of examples of a quarterback who was going to produce a big play offense against Miami. Might be circumstance, might be Miami's defense. I expect Notre Dame to be good. I'm just telling you that I often see games before week 1 and after week 1 where two teams are playing, and I can't quite tell you how good they are because I don't know if both of them are bad or both of them are good. I don't know if both of them are somewhere beneath where I expected them to be or whether they're going to be better. When I'm watching Miami and Notre Dame play against each other, though, the thing that did jump out to me, and it's why it is I understand the Miami fan base's criticism of Mario Cristobal. What we did see is a team with a 2 turnover advantage have maulers on the offensive and defensive line. And usually when that combination of things is in play, I can tell that this offensive line can't handle this defensive line. And I can tell that Miami's offensive line can handle this defensive line. If I give that team a 2 turnover advantage, put them at home, they're not kicking for the game with a minute left.
And then you have to remind yourself, that's a Notre Dame team that, leaned on Riley Leonard a lot to make plays, but they brought a lot of dudes back from that team that ran through big-time programs all the way to a college football playoff final. You could argue that's the best secondary in the nation. In fact, many are, and Miami was making plays against that secondary. So, look, we've been there. There was a Labor Day night game with Ja'Cory Harris where we all thought Mark Whipple was the next greatest thing, and Ja'Cory Harris was a Heisman favorite, and then it turns out neither FSU or Miami were good. And who's to say? I'm sure there will be games like that when we look back and look at week 1 under a microscope. I just happen to think, given the very recent track record of Notre Dame and the fact that Miami looks a certain way, that those two teams seem to be legit.
Well, that's what it is for me, is Miami looking a certain way. You know, like that Hurricane team that we saw Sunday night, those bodies, the physicality that they showed. All right, the Canes, you go back the last 8, 9, 10 years, they've been few and far between, but you've had some big wins, specifically 2017 against Notre Dame. But, that to me, you won that game 41-8, that game against Notre Dame. You weren't 33 points better than that Irish team. You look at this win Sunday, the fact that it was a close game, I thought that spoke better for Miami. If they go up 21-7 and they keep pouring it on Notre Dame, it's like, all right, you're not this much better than Notre Dame. The fact that they won a tight game, it turned out, against the Irish, I thought that spoke a lot about this Canes team.
And they left some points on the ground.
Yes.
They were very spooked by Notre Dame's special teams. They called a timeout on a punt return because they didn't like the look, and then they rushed another field goal because they didn't want to take 2 timeouts on special teams, and they end up getting 0 points from that Justin Scott forced turnover. I think that Miami still has a much better performance in them, and it's great to lean on the defense and win a game in which you feel like you left some points on the board.
But you thought blowing a 10-point lead and winning a close game was better than laying it on and blowing them out?
Yeah, because if the Canes go on and they win that game, let's say by 28, 31 points, you're not 4 touchdowns better than Notre Dame. I don't know what that proves in that spot. The fact that they were able to have a 14-point lead at one point, and then, okay, Notre Dame makes the comeback, and then you were still able to respond in a tight game and pull that out, that to me meant something. I think it means more than a blowout victory.
I think I see your logic. I would feel better about Miami if they did.
Well,
but
you feel better about it because you wouldn't have been nervous at the end of the game.
Right. I do think that there was potential for that game to get out of hand, and a slip here on a wet field, a busted coverage here and there. There were moments where Notre Dame just made certain plays, maybe got lucky or whatever, but they hung around the same exact way they hung around last year to an annoying degree that made me think, Notre Dame, CJ Carr, they're going to be all right.
I wanted to see them pull it out in a big spot. We saw they were capable of building a double-digit lead, and we also saw they were capable of responding and pulling out a game in a big spot.
But they blew a lead, and if you didn't have a freshman quarterback at 2-minute drill, they could have lost that game.
They blew a lead. They also have more confidence in their kicker now, you could argue.
4 of 12 last year at FAU.
Yeah. Well, that was my problem with the final drive. Like, I didn't like settling for a 47-yard field goal.
Which he nailed, by the way.
It was 4 of 11. I want to attack a couple of things here. You said that Miami fans were just nervous. That is absolutely where all of the spoiled entitlement is coming from, the loudest people who aren't satisfied with a win over Notre Dame. You didn't like that you were scared at the end of the game, and so you're mad at Mario Cristobal because you were scared at the end of the game. That happens all the time. I told you guys what I saw between championship locker rooms when I walked in as a freshman, University of Miami. They never lose a home game while I'm in school, but I don't have any context for what college football players are supposed to look like. So I walk in as a freshman and I see Jerome Brown, and I'm like, that's not a fellow student in the locker room. But years later, when they were on probation, and I'm going in there and it's Ryan Clement and a bunch of kids with pimples, when CJ Carr took his helmet off on the sidelines, and I'm seeing that guy being chased by Reuben Bain, I'm like, that's a child. That is a young. That Carr looks very young. He's taken off his helmet, and he looks like the leader of Notre Dame is not yet grown up because he's very young. And so what I didn't see was a big play offense in that game from either team. Like they were, I understand that there were 3 fun touchdowns of 30 yards in the first half, but and there was a broken play late in the game.
2 pretty good secondaries, it would appear.
But there were not big plays in that game.
2 good defenses. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And there were, like, I watched that. I loved the first touchdown pass from Beck, and I gave him more credit than Malachi Toney because I thought everyone was hyperbolic about the 17-year-old. And in watching the game back, seeing Malachi Toney shorten his route, adjust to the ball the second it leaves Carson Beck's hand against that secondary.
It's a pro move.
It's a 17-year-old boy that is making that decision in that play. And to the second touchdown pass, I came away more impressed with the throw from Carson Beck, especially knowing that that was something that they recognized in their prep and knew that that specific 2-foot by 2-foot area was going to be there for that play. Perfect execution there. I think Miami's in good shape.
Yeah, I thought calling Carson Beck's throw lucky on that second touchdown pass is garbage. You know, you had to make a great throw and also a great catch. Both of them were necessary in order to get a touchdown there, and they did both. It was a great throw and a great catch.
But the thing being lost on both of these, is that his eyes are still downfield on both of them right before he's about to get crushed. Right? Like, he waited until the last possible second to make both of those throws. Put it on the poll here, please, Juju. Did you ever think Mark Whipple was the next greatest thing? And also put on the poll, can anyone named Mark Whipple ever be the next greatest thing? I want to play for you some sound here and see if you recognize anything about it. It's not sports. It's that Cracker Barrel, that silly Cracker Barrel controversy. The Wall Street Journal has a podcast called The Journal. This is not a sports story, and I want to see if you guys notice anything about this reporting done by the Wall Street Journal's podcast on this Cracker Barrel story.
All because a new streamlined logo erased that old-timer and set off a digital pitchfork mob. Our colleague Heather Haddon has been covering the story.
A lot of commentators were like, no, we do not like this.
So Cracker Barrel's made everybody crazy today. Yo, that's me.
It would have been good to leave the trailing sound of other serious podcast voices at the end of that so that people would have noticed that that was you on the podcast as opposed to you speaking right here next to me for the audio audience that's not watching.
Well, I was shocked. I didn't expect to hear myself. That was me.
What was this?
Yeah, what is that?
This was a serious Wall Street Journal podcast breaking down everything going on with Cracker Barrel, and they wanted to give some context, so they just dropped in Zaslow.
I told you he's a rising star. I told you that everyone in media is noticing what it is that Jonathan Zaslow is doing these days. And so this is not an edit. This was something that the Journal put together, and we were all shocked when we heard Jonathan Zaslow's voice inexplicably in the middle of the Cracker Barrel controversy.
All because a new streamlined logo erased that old-timer and set off a digital pitchfork mob. Our colleague Heather Haddon has been covering the story.
A lot of commentators were like, no, we do not like this.
So Cracker Barrel's made everybody crazy today.
His voice is so distinctive.
I wasn't on that show.
No, you were not. They stole that sound from our show.
Copyright.
Yo, that sounds like some AI nonsense. I'm entitled to some kind of money.
Wait, what is AI?
I wasn't on that show. They used my voice.
Have you? I mean, you've done radio shows for how long? You don't know how playing clips work?
Yes.
You know what? You are entitled to money.
Yeah.
And you know what? You should play the lottery. You should play Jackpocket. We're teaming up with Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Play Powerball, Mega Millions, even scratch-offs, all with just a couple taps. New customers get $5 in lottery credits when you download the app, opt in, and use code SUPERFAN at sign up.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. 18 or older, 19 or older in Nebraska, 21 or older in Arizona. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with any state lottery. Void where prohibited. Scratchers subject to availability. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5 and September 30th, 2025.
Hey listeners, it's Mike. Hey Billy Gill.
Hey.
Hey Billy, as a proud member of your inner circle, remember when we were hanging out last weekend?
Oh, yeah, fishtail palms.
The fishtail palms, the great memories we made, kids playing in the pool and in our hands, a nice ice cold can of Miller Lite. It was so hot out.
I know, but it was so cold in my hand.
We took that first sip. It was crisp. It was refreshing. Oh man, there is nothing like cracking open a Miller Lite with your crew and your inner circle bones.
Hell yeah. We fist bumped.
Whether it's, we actually really did. Yeah. Whether it's that touchdown.
Didn't make a sound, but it just thought
bam! Boom! Whether it's that touchdown you didn't see coming or just arguing about fantasy lineups, you and I did plenty of that. Miller Lite has been the taste that you can depend on for 50 years. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients, rich toffee notes, and that iconic golden color. And here's the kicker, Billy.
What?
It's just 96 calories.
What?
3.2 carbs. Per 12 ounces. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 5 decades later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.